enjoy an activity not because of your love for it, but because of the people you are doing it with. Good evening, TGIS.
Good evening.
Growing up, swimming always used to be a big part of my life. As a middle schooler, it was something that I used to identify myself during those days. Now, getting into the sport was not something that I expected myself to. And the primary reason for that is, for me to get into it, is because of my younger brother. So when he was back in second grade, he got selected to represent the school team at the under-8 category for swimming competitions. And as soon as he got into the team, during the first few events itself, he started winning medals. And soon he started winning gold medals. And this naturally made my parents very proud. And all of a sudden, one day, they just bought him a laptop. Now, mind you that I have an elder brother also, and yet the first person in the house to actually get such an expensive gift at that age was him. And this made me very jealous. So this made me realize that maybe if I myself got into the swimming team and started winning medals, soon I can also get gifts like this from my parents. So this was a primary ambition for me to actually get into swimming. Now, naturally, I was not very good at the sport. Me getting into the team was primarily because you could say the position my brother had in the team and the good rapport my family had with the coach. Getting up at 5 a.m. and then reaching school at 6 for practice was not something that I was very keen on doing, but it definitely helped instill a discipline in me at a very young age. So from day one, our coach used to say, your main goal should be to qualify at the CBSE clusters, which is held in UAE. So for those who may not know, CBSE is one of the biggest education curriculum systems which is there in India, and the schools under this curriculum can participate in this competition here. So the winners over here would get to qualify, would get to represent their school at the CBSE Nationals, which is held in India every year. So my first 3 years in this competition was seen with failures. And finally, when I qualified during my 4th year, was primarily because I was a substitute for the relay team. This made me realize that I'm qualifying because of the teammates around with me, and I was dependent on them to qualify, and not because of my own efforts. So from then onwards, I worked very hard. I was very determined, and I found my niche in which all strokes I used to swim, and I decided to specialize in backstroke and freestyle as my main strokes. And from then onwards, I was able to see success, which I had not imagined myself seeing during the initial time I got into swimming. Now, when it came to the competition back in India, it was always on a different ballgame. Whenever you reach over there, what you see is a lot of coaches, a lot of students, all under so much, swimmers, were under a lot of pressure over there, and they were always vying to get the medal. Why? This is where my coach was very different. His main goal was to ensure that majority of the swimmers in the team qualifies for the competition back in India, and they get to experience the atmosphere, the vibe. For him, it was more about the participatory spirit and getting an exposure to a national level competition over there. This was very important because swimming is ideally an individualistic sport. From there, this means that the atmosphere it creates, like what he created, was more of like a family. So we all were like a very tight-knit and close-knit family, which carries on even towards today. Even though we used to have mostly a cheerful and happy period of our swimming career, there were days where we faced major setbacks. I could not forget the day when we hosted our annual swimming gala back in our school, with most of the major schools participating over there. And for one fact, we were very confident that we had one of the best relay teams during that year. And in that category, we were expected to win medals. So, as we had expected, we naturally cruised to a victory with more than half a lap lead. But as soon as we started celebrating is when our coach came to us and told that we had been disqualified. So we were very shocked and surprised. And he came to me and told, Madhav, you're disqualified the team. And I was also very dumbfounded. So he came and said that I had dived in just milliseconds before the second swimmer had actually touched the floor of the pool. I mean the end of the pool, more like. So at this time, I realized that we had an early start and we were disqualified because of that. So it dawned on me that I had let my team down. A sweet victory had swept over from my hand, and I was to blame for that. And this taught me one of the most important lessons, and that was to be patient. Because it's always good to be eager, but sometimes you have to pause and think before you actually make any hasty decisions. Now it has been almost 7 years since my school is done. Yet I have not even swum one lap during the last 7 years. And this made me realize that maybe swimming is not what I really liked, but I actually enjoy doing because of the people around me. My friends, my teammates, and especially my coach. Now if you ask me that if I can go back 10 years in time to the time I used to do swimming, I'd say yes in a heartbeat. Not because I want to experience that pressure of the race, but purely because I get to relive those memories with them during those period of time. And this reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from the series I used to watch, which goes like, I wish there was a way to know you are in the good old days before you actually left them. Thank you.